necessarily think Wisp is must first pick right now. Obviously for certain
Yeah,
teams. I mean, it's matchup dependent.
That's the thing I would comment on, which for certain teams, Wisp is in my pool of heroes that must be mastered if you truly want to have a chance at winning TI. Furion, Chen, Enchantress, Wisp, Earthshaker. There's a reason these heroes are at every single TI, because consistently there's more you can place around them to create just more opportunities for your draft to change as it progresses, and you can just get more done on the map on a minute-by-minute basis.
What if you can play everything except Wisp? You mentioned like 10 heroes. What, you got them all, but no Wisp. Is that fine?
I said 5.
Okay.
You need, and I stand by those 5. Look through TI.
They're always 3 bans. You got 3 bans. There's 3 heroes you don't need to play.
That's not how it works.
Man, you can't.
That is one of the, I think, the most trying positions to be in as a captain, is if you know you have to ban heroes because your team can't play them. Because now you don't have the option of letting someone get something or say leaving all the power heroes because you want these two. It becomes a much more difficult dance.
I mean, the big example everyone brings up, like TI5 EG with like the Leshrac, the techies, when EG were playing against CDC. CDC just couldn't play the techies, couldn't play Leshrac that well, couldn't play Naga Siren. AU has Naga Siren, another must-ban hero. So it's like you're forced to ban these, whether you're first or second pick.
Yep.
TI7 Liquid, a similar thing with GH with his Coddle, like which no one else was playing Coddle that tournament, but no one could beat GH when he played the guy.
Yep.
That's Rubik about an opening for Bait, which is interesting because Rubik, we've actually seen Excess Vampire play a lot of Rubik over the last couple of days. That being said, he's probably going to play the next Assassin. But what do you guys think about these 2 openings?
Timbersaw is the opening that I'd say VP, at least at this tournament, popularized. So I feel like Gambit's taking a page out of VP's book. When they played each other, Timbersaw was just getting first stage banned because it seems like when you have this first pick and then you can pick Timber and then ban some counters, you set it up to have a really good game. Or your opponents to shut it down means they lose the other 2 lanes. So it's like either the Timber carries the game, or you shut down Timber, but you put too many resources in shutting him down.
The term I'd use to just talk about why this hero is so good is because you have so much gravity as a Timbersaw. If you are in a lane, you pull more enemy heroes to stop your progress than many of the other heroes you could place into that role. In a one-on-one scenario, you have a core on the tower, and I am a level 6 Timbersaw. I'm going to be able to deal tower damage to you, and I will inevitably force you out. So if you can create an opportunity where, to address me, you need to bring more numbers, that's a huge edge for the rest of the map and for the rest of your allies.
5 seconds remaining.
With saying that, do you favor Gambit's opening? I mean, obviously, Timbersaw is definitely a viable first 2 pick, but do you have any issues with the opening that we're seeing from Bait?
I think they're relatively equal. I like that Bait took the Rubik out of Gambit's hands. That is by far the most comfortable hero for Excess Vampire. He probably was just going to be on the Nyx Assassin no matter what, but I just think this hero as a 4 position is way too good in the meta right now.
Yeah.
It's similar to... you can steal... Rubik's stuns that he steals, the spells, they deal just more damage, they last longer than things should. It's not something you can replicate. He's a solid laner, very good roamer, and I think that that's key because this baited lineup seems to play a lot better when their 3 cores can be semi-independent, and then King R is free to just go where he wants. You look at that first game against Nigma, he's a part of the first 8 kills in 3 different lanes. That's how this team is going to look to thrive, and it simplifies the game as well because they're behind in terms of actual strategic execution. A game is much easier to play if your 3 cores are in 3 lanes and your supports just walk around the map.
Sounds like a solid strategy. Do you need any specific positions 5s to allow for that those rotations to happen? Because I think both Rubik and Nyx are gonna look to do what you're describing. And we don't position 5s. Basically, everything apart from Ancient Deparation is still in the pool. I guess Enchantress played as 5 as well. These 2 teams have really not played Snapfire still in the pool, but I don't think we're gonna see that.
Which is surprising. You saw Kuro play it. If you have it's a very good hero.
Yeah.
One of those 5s that just does too much damage, it feels. You're strong in lane, you're somewhat tanky, you've got 4 active abilities. That's always going to be strong. And personally, I'm of the opinion that effectively all new heroes developed over the last 3 to 4 years are too strong. And you can kind of see the effect of power creep. Pangolier, Dark Willow, Snapfire, Void Spirit. These heroes are a bit bit too strong if you compare them to, say, a Juggernaut, and you look at what they can actually do in terms of turning their mana into damage.
Juggernaut's got, you know, passive crit, which, you know, 5 years ago in a carry here, it's like, yeah, he's got a crit. That's amazing. Nowadays, your carries have insane spells. Like, they had to give Ursa's Earthshock a mobility aspect to balance, make him viable.
They gave Wraith King's crit, like, you know what if we just made it summon creeps, too, right? Like, you know, all these heroes come out with, like, effectively 6 abilities in their kit. Jug's still trying to play with, like, just 3.
Yeah. I mean, he needs something else added now, is what I'm hearing. You know, give that crit another component to it.
10 seconds remaining.
But what are we going to see here? OD was banned, curiously, by Bait.
I guess it makes sense if you're thinking that OD is used as a counter to the Timbersaw, and if the Timbersaw team is not going to pick it, or sorry, it's not going to ban it out second phase, they're probably going to pick it, so they make sure that that's not the case.
About time we've seen a Prophet, especially up against 2 heroes like Rubik and Abaddon that have a very difficult time with early game tower pressure. I liked it before. I like it a lot now, even. It's also a great match against the Razor because you just can't stand at towers. They go for the Troll. I was thinking maybe a Bloodseeker could have been a possibility. Troll, not ideal against Timber until you have more items online. And I'm also
on the other side.
Was that just an instant morph?
Yep.
It was.
Yeah.
They did not waste any time.
Are we going to see a like 5 position out? Like they're picking all their cores and saving what last pick for a support?
For Gambit, I think that's a 5 position.
No, for Baited.
Baited, it's a 5 Abaddon, perhaps. I think they're trying to keep that open.
They picked Troll Razor, and they have the last pick of draft. So I'm very curious to see what they're planning with that last pick, given that it looks like they picked 3 cores, but that may not be the case.
I don't want them to go for a core Abaddon here, I think. I don't like the matchup against Morph, especially if there's a Furion in the lane against you. He's just going to buy a Blightstone. He's going to click you down. You're a very low armor strength hero. And once Morph gets double Wraith Band, level 3, level 4, he's just going to free farm and threaten kills. And you feel kind of worthless because as a defensive hero core that's behind, there's no way for you to play offensively to regain your status quo. So you have to hope the enemy team oversteps. And I don't want Baited in a position where they're reliant on enemy teams' mess-ups to make moves.
Yeah. This is such a good Morphling game. Like, picking it into the Razor, it's this mobility carry that neither Troll nor Razor can lock down. There's no real stuns other than the telekinesis at this point. And I feel like the Razor was almost rushed. Like, normally this is a hero that shines when you're up against, like, this melee carry. Like, yeah, you're against a Timbersaw can steal this damage, but Timber doesn't care that he's losing his damage. Obviously, he maybe cares that Razor's getting plus 200, but all your damage is your spells. This does not say, oh, amazing Razor game at all.
It's a lane counter, but the problem is that in reality, especially if, say, there's a Furion up there with him to start, Timber likes playing against Razor. You're one of the few offlaners with a natural low mana cost escape to get away from that link. And then as soon as you hit level 5, level 6, you're actually the one threatening Razor.
Ooh, Sand King ban. We haven't seen Sand King, I believe, all tournament, but he gets the last ban here against Bait for Gambit. So what we're looking for is most likely an offlane hero for Bait.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be the mid here for Gambit. So it's all about what FN wants to play. He knows most likely what his matchup is going to be.
I guess it could be Troll or Razor, right?
Yeah.
Which one are you thinking it is?
I think it's still open. I'd expect just to go something safe. You know, get a Lina.
He likes Kunkka, he likes Pango.
Pango, Kunkka, Lina, all look good to me. You have your win condition.
Ooh, will be Queen of Pain.
Okay. That works too.
Make sure you have a better lane matchup versus Razor. Was that a Scream?
We got a Scream of Pain.
That was
coming.
actually...
That's cool.
The
crowd liked that one.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That was haunting.
It was.
I thought it was someone in the crowd.
Yeah. I really like the Quap too. It's excellent against the Troll. Great lane matchup against both heroes. But whenever you're playing with Timbersaw, it's that idea of Timber's going to be pulling heroes top, Morph's going to be pulling heroes bottom, and it gives Quap options. Because if you can't really go after the Quap because these side laners are going to pull heroes to stop them, and then Quap can just control runes. Maybe he blinks on top of you. Maybe he teleports in. You add that to the threat of a Furion, no matter where they are on map, it's really two heroes at all times that are going to be dangerous.
That will be your mid, most likely. This is a hero that Lacoste really likes because it ticks so many different boxes in your draft. It fixes any kind of push or disable or sturdiness or tankiness issues that you might have.
Now it's curious though, how do you lane this?
Razor then, or?
We'll see. I think here's the thing, because you don't want to be in a scenario where Razor is against Quap, and you don't want to be in a scenario where DK is against Timbersaw. So the onus is really on Beta to ensure they get the right lane matchups here.
Sure. I mean, you can just send the DK mid, because then you'll get this DK versus Quab, which isn't necessarily amazing for DK, but it's playable.
But no, but what if Quab just lanes with Furion somewhere? That's going to beat anything Beta have.
Mid, yeah.
And Timber mid. That's where things get a little scary for you.
Yeah, I think you get an idea when you see the players pick up the heroes, because it's at least fairly rare for the player to swap, like the mid player to not go mid. Few teams will actually pull that one off. But maybe it's the kind of Gambit you can do here.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm just scared because if you look at the draft lineup, it's actually that first 2 Timbersaw that I think Beta are going to have the biggest issue with. They don't have any true counter. All of their damage output is... there's no true one position in a sense, right? This is a very... NIP-style lineup, alliance lineup. You've got 3 semi-cores, no real hard carry. Sure, Troll is that, but with a Razor and a DK on the team, it's not like they can really go 4v1.
All right, guys. What do you think is going to happen? You don't seem to really like Bait's draft as much as Gambit, mostly because of the Timbersaw. Any other
I think
things
mostly
to cover?
because of the Morphling.
Because of the Morphling.
This Morphling game looks sensational.
It just feels like you're going to be forced to choose between, like, you're going to be losing your lanes here as Baited, and as the game progresses, there's never, you look at this draft, you don't see any natural timing where they're stronger, except for triple BKB, and even then, they don't really have the catch to kill heroes like Quap and Morph and Timber. So you got to just outplay the entire game. That's the hard part.
Can Bait outplay Gambit? Let's find out. Game number 1 here with Lizard and Capitalist.
Well, can they outplay them? I'm not so sure, but maybe they've just outthought them. They're throwing us a curveball. Apparently, it's going to be LeBron playing a support Razor. Lizard, your thoughts?
He's usually their position 5 even. It's not your position 4 playing the Razor, it's your position 5. That's apparently going to running around the map and just static linking everyone.
I guess. Whatever this is going to be, I'm sure it's going to be entertaining. That does mean Ghostic is going to be playing the Abaddon, apparently. At least that's what they picked up in the starting screen. And yes, we go into the game, and that's exactly what's still happening. So, support Razor, boys and girls. Our panel are shocked, and they don't know what to make of this.
You know,
I don't know if I know.
When you look at this inventory and you see Headdress, Branch, and Tangos, you're guessing Wisp.
Yeah.
You're guessing, you know, like Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, Chen,
Chen, you know, you're not guessing a Razor.
Okay. Do you think this is going to be good versus the Timbersaw?
I have no idea how this is going to work out. But, you know, like Dandy, he's one of those players that says anything can work in this game. He drafts himself a Razor support. If that's what he wants, let's see if it will work out.
All right, well, we're going to have Timberchain early pick up, but he's not going to be able to get away from that static link, and they'll turn that damage over into Vampire. Vampire's still going to be able to pick up the bounty rune, but he may die for it, as he's going to try and scuttle away to the high ground. Shotslow's just going to tank some of the damage instead, and both of them will escape. B8 still managed to get 2 bounty runes, though.
Yeah, they're going to take 2 bounty runes, also force out a Sal on Timbersaw. Obviously, Nyx is one of those heroes with high base regions, so he won't suffer way too much from suffering so much damage. But yeah, overall, a good start for Bait. This mid lane as well for Dandy should be fine. Now, if you're playing this lane as a Queen of Pain, there are ways of just using a different skill build versus a DK. You go for more points in the Shadow Strike or more points into Scream of Pain and just out farming him. However, Dandy should still have a very decent easy lane.
Yeah, this is like one of those classic matchups, right? You know, like somebody picks up Quap, you just pick up the very safe DK, max out your passive, just farm away. And it kind of kills Quap's, a lot of the reason you pick Quap is to be able to win that mid matchup and pressure the mid laner. Instead, FN's going to have to rotate more, right?
Yeah, you could see why they picked the Queen of Pain. Panel also got baited.
That's
the
Razor.
That's the reason of the name of the organization. Now we get it.
They truly did bait them, but
Queen of Pain was picked because of Razor, but Razor is a position 5, so that counterplay won't really be super effective.
Yeah, you know, bait is typically used to be able to actually hook a fish, you know? So you're getting something out of your bait. What Baited got was, with their little bait, with their Razor choice, they got a support Razor. I'm not sure if that's... I feel like that's the dirty boot of fishing, you know?
I agree with you completely. I'm not so sure. I'm not sold on this Razor support. But listen, in the morning, Lacoste was saying he was there at the breakfast with the boys from Bait, and they were saying they have something very special inbound for us. I wasn't expecting a position 5 Razor, though.
No.
I was expecting some meepo or something, you know, some brood mother, some cheese, but...
We'll have to ask Lacoste if this was the secret plan that he heard about. It does seem to be going pretty well for the laning phase anyway. We actually had all 3 of our cores top 3 CS just 30 seconds ago. So Ghostic's doing well in the abandon against the Morphling matchup. They can't really pressure the Morphling too much. He's still going to free farm. But at least initially, they were able to win out in CS. Dendy's going to be free farming mid. And anytime FN goes around looking for kills, like Quaps once do, Dendy's able to pressure that tower and kind of punish FN for rotating.
It's always the problem when you're playing versus DK mid. If you rotate, and many heroes on the mid lane right now love to rotate, that Dragon Knight will start pushing and will take a huge chunk of your tower.
Vampire coming over, but ganking a DK who already has 2 levels of Dragon's Blood. Not going to feel very good. So
He's got that one bracer and he's
yeah,
indestructible pretty much. Just stands here, he's going to get another most likely and he'll be fine. That top lane as well, let's see, Morphling 13 CS, Ghostic and Rubik are doing kind of alright here. Ghostic 11 CS, not really far behind Dream.
it looks like initially maybe just the pressure of Fate Bolt and such was able to limit the Morphling from getting some CS, but I imagine that this lane, as you get level 3, 4, and 5, the Morphling just becomes strong enough to be able to deal with the Abaddon.
Yeah, I think he gets very, very strong once he hits 2 raid bans or even 3. Let's see what he goes for, but usually those 2 raid bans and you're fine.
Yeah. Vampire just seems to be not sure where he wants to be. He actually rotates up there in the top lane, but a telekinesis stops a Impale from being able to get the kill on Abaddon. Still no first blood as we approach the 4-minute mark.
You can't lane versus Razor, man. That's why he's lost. You can't run on this lane. You can't be a position 4. Like, you're feeling useless. There's a Razor running at you, just taking your damage, hitting you even harder.
Yeah, to be fair to Vampire, I'm sure he never experienced this in his pubs, so...
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, there's no history to look back on and understand what you need to do better.
Funny though, I played one pub with Dandy a long time ago. I was a support Luna. And
really?
And he told me, like, listen, Lizard, I've seen many things work, but support Luna never worked, you know? And now he
Did it
picks
work?
a Razor. It worked. And now he picks a Razor. Like, what?
Well, you'll have to go back to Dendy if this Razor doesn't work and your Luna did. Well, 5-minute bounty runes, everyone getting low, but nobody dead just yet.
Ghostic.
He's going to be blocked in a little bit, and FNG, yeah, just body block him up, get a few more hits in. Not quite close enough for the Impale, though, and that means Ghostic will survive with a little bit of chat wheel as he leaves.
It's definitely much easier to block with your treants than it is with Prophet, right?
Yeah.
Because you have so many of them, but he wasn't really positioned too well for that.
Well, it seems like the Timbersaw, like kind of as expected, the Timbersaw is going to do fine against a dual lane that their only damage is right clicks.
Yeah, who would have guessed? The Timbersaw would do well here, right?
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, Vampire doesn't really have much of a lane, but also he doesn't really want to be bottom. If a Timbersaw is fine, you try and give him solo experience.
One good thing, though, for Bait on this lane is the fact that they aren't truly pressured as well. Troll is one of those heroes that just has way too much base damage, and you can't really zone him out this early on. And if you look at CS, he's 31-11 versus 22-0 on Timbersaw. He's fine.
Dendy got level 6 before the Queen of Pain of FN, so he's already trying to get some chip damage on that mid tower with the push coming in from the Siege Wagon. They're trying to put a stop to him, though, and they've got him a little bit low, but it's actually going to be FN. Excuse me, FN actually dying first, giving away that first blood. Meanwhile, Vampire actually sniped the courier. That's all he did with that.
Yeah, but that's it, right? That's that Dragon Knight mid with the first catapult. They instantly rotate with Kingar and they pressure the Queen of Pain that's already massively pressured. If you look at her CS, 25-7 versus 36-13 of Dandy. Yeah. This lane isn't easy, and this is a very peculiar build too. I love it though. I love this. Dragon Knight is going for an urn, most likely Vessel instantly after. Versus Morphling versus Timbersaw, this is going to come so in handy.
Oh yeah, it feels very reminiscent of the mid Kunkas that do this as well,
Ember
right?
Spirit.
Yeah, yeah. And certainly a needed item here for B8 against this Timber Saw, as well as the Morphling, actually. This is mega value Spirit Vessel game.
Yeah, it's not like your position 5 Razor is going to build it, so
yeah.
I don't know what he's going to build, but I don't know where he's going to farm for.
I am
any
also very curious. Like, if this is a 4 Razor, I could see like a Yule's build being viable, but for him, I think at best, like a 4-stab is maybe all I can get to. The Morphling actually jumping forward here is going to find himself static linked, silenced, but no further disables to be able to stop that TP, so instead they're going to try and go for FNG, but a Razor support is lacking in stuns.
He sucked so much damage that I thought he might do something here, but even FNG is completely fine.
He even turns and for whatever reason fights him just a little bit.
But FNG did that very well. He was running away with his main hero, but meanwhile Treants were blocking Rubik to prevent him from using any sort of disable later on. Just securing his escape.
Pio, he certainly is somebody we've talked about at length here at WePlay Mad Moon, and he could have the opportunity to be able to stand up in this series, right? Like, he needs to be able to prove that his replacement for Kuman was worth it for BA.
Yep.
And he's, you know, second in net worth, having a bit of free farm. Can't really pressure the Timbersaw, not much you can really do there, but he will have a net worth lead, thanks in part to Dendi doing so well in the mid lane and already taking that mid tower at 8.5 minutes in.
That's amazing for him. This is a really good start for this Dragon Knight, specifically because his item build is going to be so valuable in that mid game.
And he's actually going to use the remnants of his dragon form. I love when people do this. Ghostic, though, in trouble here. Throws out the miscoil. Can't deny yourself anymore, but you might as well get whatever damage you can out there before you go down. But I love people who use the dragon form when they take a tower and they still have plenty of dragon form timing left. Go somewhere else. Try and do what you can.
Especially when you use it with a teleport scroll, right? You aren't moving across the map, losing that duration in the river. Instead, you TP to the bottom lane, you defend the tower. You might even push it in a little bit now.
So what do you think the next step is for BA? They already got their mid tower, the Dragon Knight, next dragon form. Where are you looking to?
I think it's tempo, tempo, tempo. Okay. You just need to be rotating across the map every time you have that form.
Sonic Wave coming out from FN will secure the kill into King R. Small kill.
That's a small kill, but it's all right.
Yeah.
They prevent him from defending the tower any further. They move back afterwards, though, because the Queen of Pain ulti and all her mana has been committed already.
And kills like this around this timing can be even more valuable just because the bounty runes are coming up, and we'll see what map control is going to result from that. FNG already placed very aggressively, as is the Timbersaw on the other side of the map, so it's possible they could get 4 bounties, maybe in the outpost as well. Pio can actually stop that. Jump forward from King R. He's going to try and take the outpost back. It's going to be a close call, but they will not be able to get it in time. King R may just give up his life for this one as well. Stun comes out from the Dragon Knight, chain stunning down FN. He actually dies. They may have gotten the outpost taken away from B8, but that kill, I think, is well worth it. King R still going to be caught here eventually, but FNG now going to be exchanging himself for that support kill, and he was level 6 too.
That's amazing for Bait. And look at Dendi, just what you talked about earlier, Cap. Like, he utilizes that form. It's only a quarter duration spent. He TP stop, pushes in the tower. Also, this is the Carti lane, so that will help you out too. And this is what they have to be doing. Abaddon and Dragon Knight playing together. Some Bait games, they don't play the Abaddon properly. They don't play it around the playmaker. This time they already started improving on that.
Well, unfortunately for them, there is a sticky hero standing in front of them. Shots, though, on the Timbersaw is a potent tower defender, and they're actually going to try and go on him, but at the same time, Gambit is already kind of baiting that. Vampire, he's going to show up sometime and try and hit a big impale, but at the same time, FNG TPing in. They do manage to hit that impale onto Dendi, focusing him. Dream actually turning into a Razor with a static link, stealing away Dendi's damage, turning it onto him, and now they've broken Bait. They're going to be able to just run them down. Looks like the Brawn is easily going to get caught. That's 2 dead on the side of Bait as Gambit form up a 5-man defense, excellently baiting their Timbersaw to a successful team fight.
Yeah, so much damage given to Morphling there, that Razor. Morphling was the better Razor in that fight.
Yeah.
But overall for Bait, if you're trying to go for these movements, especially on that, specifically on that Timbersaw, you need more damage. Vessel is great. It definitely allows you to kill Timbersaw. Without that, you can't. But you need more damage. You need more heroes with you.
Yeah. Only having those 2 cores, especially low damage cores.
Yeah.
Right? Like Dragon Knight, He's okay at this point in the game. His nuke is still relevant. His right clicks are pretty strong, but Abaddon is not, you know, like a whole lot of burst damage or anything.
He's nothing right now. He's level 6 with no items, just boots.
And that's a general problem with their whole lineup, right? Because you've got Rubik and support Razor. That's not a ton of burst damage either.
That's a very good point, actually. When you look at their lineup right now, Abaddon is the one suffering the most in network, so this rotation might help them, but I have a feeling Dream is just having a completely free game. He's not contested.
And he took that tower without anybody showing up, so somebody should have given shots with a heads up. Unfortunately, he's still going to be caught by bait, and they are going to take this tower.
This I like to call the OG school. Just run 5-man, go rush at them towards the towers, towards the objectives.
It's like they learned what went wrong last time, right? We didn't put enough heroes in that top lane. This time, let's bring everybody.
Dire's top tower.
But
I mean, they're not wrong. They will take that tower at least. How much of space they're giving away to Morphling to everyone on the side of Gambit, that's questionable though.
Yeah, it's definitely Gambit who made much better use of that timing, where they still managed to take a safe lane tower, but are giving solo experience to a Morphling, are farming up neutrals all over the map. The Queen of Pain has been neutraling this entire time.
It's also FNG and what he has done. Like, you can see that he's smoked, he's planted a couple of wards very deep on the Radiant side of the map. Like, FNG on this Nature's Prophet, I see him feed very often. Like, he kind of gets lost using those treants, you know, not maybe one of his best heroes, but he utilizes this teleport very well. Just a ward to use that smoke, it's really good.
Yeah, it's nice. He gets a combination of aggressive vision. He actively taking away farm from the enemy. I think is something that's kind of underrated and not talked a whole lot about in Dota. But by farming that area, right? He like these cores, these like mid laner, for example, wants to be able to just rotate into the triangle, farm a few neutrals, and all of a sudden he finds that there's a couple of camps are missing. Yeah.
And it's so impactful too. It messes up your farming concept completely when you're a carry. It looks like it's not a big deal, but imagine you come here, there's no camp. Suddenly you have to move bottom where your other core is.
Yeah.
Then you're forcing him away. It completely messes up your game concept.
FNG just refusing to leave, has played this area and has still managed to snipe a courier. This one being Ghostix. Courier sniping is certainly more valuable than it was in the previous patch.
And Furion, obviously one of the best heroes when it comes to that. Just they have to be very careful about these wards. They should know that there's some wards on their side of the map. They know it right now for sure, but they haven't guessed right.
Yeah. They just threw a sentry on top of that cliff, didn't find it. And I know they were hit by that Force of Nature earlier too, so that smoke, it's probably been spotted enough. There's enough information that there are people here, and now they're no longer showing on the map, so this 3-man smoke may not find a good target. There's Shochlo there, but he just picked up his level 10 talent not too long ago, so it's a much harder kill than it was last time when he's got an extra 225 health.
But you know, this is where I see a lot of teams struggle. This is where game sense and your general strategy becomes a little bit harder than before. You've taken... he misses it. You've taken tier 1 on top lane. You've taken tier 1 on mid. What now? What's next? Where do you go? Do you go for tier 2s? Do you go for Roshan? Do you stop morphing from split pushing? There's just so many options, and if you haven't been together for a long time, if you don't have a seasoned captain, it can be difficult to decide.
Yeah, it's that next level of strategy that you don't get to practice that much, right? It's the one outside the laning phase, outside of those first couple of rotations. Don't think I've ever seen that one before, but looks like FNG was able to teleport away just before the Dragonite stun could come out.
I've never seen a DK stun fly away.
Yeah. That one's pretty fast. It's a fast little projectile at a short range.
But we have JJ.
Yeah. Ghostix. Another hero that's really hard to push into and take his tower. But if you break him, Ghostix, activating it by hand there. That's what he had to do because of the break mechanic just means you can get bursted down. Unfortunately for Gambit, they don't have a silence to couple with that break.
Once Orchid perhaps is done on that Queen of Pain or something similar, then they will be able to take down Ghostix before he pops that ulti.
What is our build on our Queen of Pain? It looked like Yules, Lincolns, very defensive items from that Ben.
Super defensive actually, very interesting. Lincolns, I can understand. Let's see if they can take down
No. No ensnare from Pio as they tried to catch Dream and just whack him down real quick while he was farming Ancients.
I think what's really important is what are Troll's items? What is his item progression? I love the defusal. That's exactly what I would like to see from him. Helps you versus the Queen of Pain versus Morphling, and most importantly, just makes Timbersaw a little bit useless in these fights if you latch on top of him.
Yeah, Diffusal Blades, these Timbersaws, they just are like, okay, whatever, I can ignore all these right clicks, but once a core picks up a Diffusal Blade against him, then it hurts in just a different kind of way. He's just like, oh, if you just kill my mana, then I'm just a walking punching bag. I don't do anything in team fights anymore.
Exactly. You take all of his mana and then you ignore him. That's a pretty decent plan for them. By the way, Linken's on Queen of Pain that we mentioned earlier and saw is because of the Dragonite and the Rubik. They have two instant disables, and Queen of Pain definitely suffers heavily against those. Even BKB won't save you, so.
And he doesn't really have to be much of a damage dealer, right? Just because of the fact that they've got this hard carry Morphling. Our panel did say it was a very good Morphling game.
Man, FNG is having a blast here. He's playing this game like a pup.
Yeah.
Just killing couriers and delaying the game.
I love playing fives that can be disruptive like that and not care about dying. You know, and FNG is clearly embracing that, and yet still hasn't really been caught. You know, he's been sniping these couriers, not really caring if there's a bunch of heroes that show up and catch him.
He's an emo boy, dead inside.
Yeah.
Description, you know. Just
Razor on Razor, Dream, the much superior Razor, as that is a Morphling with almost 10,000 net worth compared to a Razor who's sitting at just 2K. Dendy, well, he's going to be in trouble as well as Dream turns some damage onto him. Waveform forward, gets a little vision, and there's the Sonic Wave to finish him off. That pure damage doing nicely. Ghostic is going to be able to take some damage back up. Pio's trying to stay on top of anybody at this point, but a Yule Scepter slowing him down. Still going to go for FNG, but blocked out by the Sprout. Will be able to catch him eventually, but at what a cost, though.
He's alone
Gambit have run down his entire back line, and Pio's going to try and run himself out solo here, which he will be able to do, but still, you kill a 5 position while you lost your mid, you lost your 4.
Your 5 Razor as well.
5 Razor.
You might have forgotten, but he died in a split second there. Yeah, it's a difficult position for that Razor as well. They have a lot of disruptive spells for him. There's the Sprout, they have Yules that was used on him, you have Nyx Assassin. It's not very simple for him to play this game. And then you will have most likely E-Blade on Morphling soon too. How is our Morphling actually doing so far? He has got that Manta, yeah, the classic Morphling build right now.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit different because of the mask, but...
I find it so disgusting how efficient Morbid Mask is on Morphling.
Yep.
You're just able to farm anywhere on the map at all times, constantly maintain full HP.
Man, a long time ago in Dota 1, there were people that would just buy Mask of Madness or just Morbid Mask early on, more full edgy and just farm the jungle.
Yeah.
That was the game.
Just no items, saving up gold, and then a mask, yeah. I remember when I first started playing Dota, I did that with randoming, and then into the... You wait a few seconds, you pick up Ring of Health.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone thought that was like the most. Who buys consumable regen? You could just buy an item that gives you passive regen.
That's Roshan.
This is a good choice. I like this from Bait quite a bit.
They have the medallion, they have the troll, so this should be easy for them. Shotchlow is around though.
And 10K net worth from Gambit. Feels like Bait needed something like this to be able to take it. FNG grabbed it. Oh no! And now they're actually going to have a fight with this. Shotchlow, he's going to go in. They're going to kill FNG twice, but it doesn't really matter because the rest of Gambit has already gone to the back line. They're going to be able to chase down. Looks like they're going to go for King R first. Manage to blow him up. Nice and easy. Now, Dream trying to get out before he can get silenced up. But he is going to be silenced, and Pio's going to get on top of him. That's actually great. Sonic Wave doesn't actually kill Ghostic and FN. Dendy hot on his trail. FN's got to be able to blink away, even though he brought so many heroes low. Couldn't finish anybody off, couldn't commit for fear of losing his life alongside.
All right, Bait, man. They're looking super, super strong at the moment. We've been doubtful of their possibilities in this game in the last few minutes, but they take that rush, and I can't blame Gambit for going in. Your Furion snatched the Aegis, right? He's gonna respawn. They're all in the pit. Oh, like, it should be an easy fight for you. But it didn't. It wasn't Like, they couldn't fight properly. They got stretched. And Morphling on one side was completely isolated by everyone on the side of Bait. I don't know what they were chasing on the other side.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like Dream went one direction and then FN went another. You know, he didn't really follow his Morphling in. And as a result, I mean, if you were looking at that from the perspective of we traded Aegis for a Morphling kill, you're pretty happy with that.
Completely.
So now that 10K net worth that was just a minute ago is now down to 6K. Can Bait take that next step without the Aegis, right? The Aegis is supposed to be utilized to be able to take tier 2s and such. Do you feel like they can do it without that extra life?
I think it's these timings. Morphling E-Blade versus Troll, I think he's going for Satanic there. Yeah, so it's about these two heroes. Who's going to get his item sooner? Instantly you will see the team that gets their core item first is going to smoke and try to make an action. It doesn't, like that Aegis definitely was good for Bait if they managed to get it, but delaying that E-Blade I think is just way more valuable.
It's a little bit concerning to me that, you know, I like the Yules on the Queen of Pain against this Troll specifically. Without a BKB build, I'm a little bit concerned that he is just going to get kited a bit. Satanic helps with that for sure, but I'm just a bit concerned there's going to be just one too many disables.
I guess that BKB, he was afraid it won't do much versus the Troll, perhaps, or versus these instant disables. He was afraid that they will go. Yules he needed to get first, right? But after that, that Linken's is questionable. There's two ways. You go for the BKB or the Linken's. He went for the Linken's. I definitely do understand why. But more importantly, right now what they're lacking is damage. It doesn't look like they're able, but maybe the E-Blade is completed. They have smoked up.
Pio's just on the high ground here, and the smoke immediately going to break. Shach, though, is actually going to be bound. Oh, the back lines. King Art, though, already taken out by both the Morphling and FN. So the two supports are dead, but in exchange, they've lost a Timbersaw, and Pio looks for more. Unable to get the ensnare onto FN, but Ghostic is able to get the silence. Unfortunately, Pio didn't chase him out immediately. Now he's here, and he tries to go for Dream, but is hit by Spike Carapace. Going to be stunned up by the Impale as well, dropping low, but they don't have any more burst damage. Dream and FN already kind of blew their load to kill the supports, so they don't have anything left to be able to go for Pio.
Dandy was a little bit late there to the party, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't really involved in that whole engagement, but you could see both of these teams have what it takes to take these fights now. It's about the execution. It's not like, yeah, Gambit is 8K ahead, but I wouldn't count Bait out by any stretch. I think they definitely have ways of winning these next team fights.
Setting up here on Ghostic. They know he doesn't have his ultimate, and they might be able to get the kill before the Eu-VODs shield goes off, and they do. Gambit back off before the TPs come in. Looks like Pio actually took a good amount of damage from the Morphling and Shotgun.
Should be careful here.
His way. He's got a double damage, and he actually does heal up with a Satanic. Good enough that Gambit won't be able to turn around and go for the kill. The support Razor of LeBron is pushing forward, trying to catch FNG, but now he's gone too far and will die. All of Gambit is here, except for FNG, who's taking a quick pit stop at the base to heal up. They're going to take this tier 2 tower now.
And every single game I'm watching this Nyx Assassin, I have more and more respect for the hero, and I think it's just too strong. Again, like he fell out of favor for a few patches, but now he's back in. He's still doing the same old things he was doing before. You have Carapace, that Troll. He could have wiped them in that previous fight, but Nyx Assassin runs into him when the rolling axes are active, uses Carapace, stuns him once, stuns him the second time with Impale. It's very difficult to play against him.
Yeah, it's funny, the...
Look at this APM, by the way. 338 on Nyx. For what? 440 on Timbersaw. Please!
Yeah, what are you doing on a Timbersaw?
I'm watching Grubby, man, play Warcraft, and he has like 300 APM with 20 units.
Somebody's got the spam click option, you know, where you just hold it down and it does... That is got to be the what's happening here. Blink Dagger for Dendy to see if he can find a better initiation. Oh, that's nice. Breaking the Linken's, managed to get the telekinesis. They get one ensnare out from the Troll, but unfortunately, there's that pesky Yule Scepter. Next up, kind of need a Basher to be able to stop that. What's our Troll building, by the way? Is it
MKB?
Basher build or MKB build? Okay.
Very interesting to go for MKB, but it will give him a lot of damage. I guess but we didn't see Morphling. Is he going for Butterfly next? Or
yeah, I was about to say, no Butterfly from Morphling and no Heaven's Halberd from the Timbersaw.
Yep.
So both of those sources of evasion that could have been picked up by Gambit.
Yeah,
not
is
actually
there some reason why you would go for MKB this early on? Like, maybe it's just his preferred build.
Hey, they broke the Lincolns again, finding the Quap in the mid lane. This time, Dendy's here with the additional disables that they need. That's a make-a-kill streak that was actually given away to Pio. Perfect person to pick it up. 10-14, 8K gold lead still for Gambit, but pick off like that might allow Bait to be able to do something more. The problem is their side lanes are always pushed in. They need to rotate multiple heroes in order to kill any core.
One of the reasons why their side lanes are always pushed in and why they're unable to catch the rats is because they have no catch. And Dandy, for some reason, went BKB first. I don't mind it. It's an all-right build, but they needed some catch. And perhaps if he got the Blink Dagger earlier.
Impale lands onto Dendy, quickly taken off by the Aphotic Shield. He pushes forward, then thinks better of it. They don't have their support Razor, but that probably doesn't mean a whole lot. The clumsy net thrown out by King R, controlling FNG, but they can't even kill a Furion, who's sitting right there on the front lines.
Just so many kiting abilities on the side of Gambit right now. Way too difficult for Bait to deal with.
Between the kiting and the split pushing, it seems like Gambit can slowly but surely build up more and more of a net worth lead. My question to you, Lizard, is are they actually going to win the game later on with that kind of?
I'm definitely thinking the same right now, and I can't answer that question for sure because Troll is definitely very fearsome. In these next couple of teamfights, I think he is going to be super scary. It doesn't matter how many items you have on that Morphling. If he catches you, if you're stun locked, you will fall. However, what's stun lock? You have Rubik, you have Dragonite, but you're usually using that for Queen of Pain. And then Morphling is free to do whatever he wants to.
Seems like they're very dependent on the Troll being able to get on top of somebody with those limited disables and then just be able to chain and snare them down. But Gambit don't seem too scared of that, as we can see here in the mid lane, pushing the tier 2 tower, and should be able to take it too, unless Bait really try and push out and take a fight here. But right now, Pio's just kind of being casually controlled up, occasionally poked. That poke is quickly erased by Ghostix Abaddon, who heals him up and Aphotic shields him. But in the end, the objective is taken, and Gambit's able to back off for free.
You can see that more and more of these kiting items are coming for Gambit. Even their position 5 Furion is getting that 4 staff right now. There it is, it's just completed. So it will just get more and more difficult for Bait to actually deal the damage that they've got. They can do it, but they need catch and they need constant control.
Well, we do have another Roshan that's going to be coming up soon. Pio just got both his MKB is going to be coming in quite soon, unless he dies to the smoke gank. He's already spotted by Vampire, but they don't choose to go for that kill. They're going to back up to their high ground, but meanwhile, Bait has already jumped in. They managed to find the Queen of Pain. Can they actually get the chain stuns? They stunned for a long time, but FN's still going to be able to jump away. Now Shacho is going to be the next target that Bait go for. Controlled up at the clumsy net, trying to get the silence out from the Abaddon as well. They should be able to do it. No, yes, he is able to jump away. Dream turning into an Abaddon. Nice Sonic Wave as waveform through. Does a lot of AoE damage on a Bait. They're kiting around this Troll, but he managed to pop his ultimate, dodging that shotgun, finishing off FNG. Yule Scepter goes off, but not quite enough in time. They're staying grouped up. They know they have to play around each other right now because Gambit, they're playing an in and out game, trying to poke and get to the back line. That's where FN finally commits alongside Dream to be able to kill that Rubik. King R goes down, but now FN committing his blink is quickly silenced up by Ghostic, and Dream now left with no supporting cast is exactly how Morphling can die. He does have a waveform up. He's going to be able to waveform into the Roshan pit, jumps, TPs. He's good.
I mean, overall, that start of that fight, Troll spent more in the air than he did on the ground.
Yes.
One use after another. He pops his ulti, he gets used. Gambit played that fight so well, that whole team fight. Morphling zips through, then there's Queen of Pain with her ultimate from the other side. They played it well. However, they committed a bit too hard once that Nyx fell. He's their major controller. Once he died to Pio, you can't fight any longer because they will just out-kite you.
It is noticeable that they just seem to be lacking just that extra bit of damage to burst down some of these cores. Like Pio will always get low to around 300, 400 HP, but then he's able to activate his ult in Satanic, or he's going to be hit by an aphotic shield or something like this. The tankiness of this lineup from Bait is a real problem for Gambit.
Two things that I see coming into play for Bait right now. They have this offlaner who's basically utility, right? You have Ghostic who's shielding you, he has a pipe Vlad, he's healing you, shielding you, tanking for you, and you have Dandy coming into play. Like, he hits super hard right now with that level 3 dragon form. He doesn't have too many items, right? Like Blink BKB, it doesn't look too scary, but Dragonite, all he needs is levels, and once he gets that level 20 as well, that can come very in handy when it comes to talents.
Yeah, it's what, is it 20 strength?
Yep.
Is that what the Dragonite did? 25 strength,
25,
so
yeah.
that's a lot of extra damage.
You can go for the cooldown reduction as well, not too shabby for your Blink, for your stun, BKB, but 25 strength, man, that's a chunk.
All right, they've broken the Abaddon, but Ghostic will just be able to activate his ultimate manually here. Dream tries to go for the kill into King R, but he's protected. Not quite enough burst damage. Dream going to strength form. FN, once again, committing to be able to kill that Rubik, but now that his Blink is on cooldown, he may get cut, but no one snare comes out for the troll. Very lucky for FN. Otherwise, he could have just traded himself for a 4. Once again, Pio gets a little bit low, but again, always going to be aphotic shielded. Will be okay. Dream doing the same, though, as he turns into an Immortal. Oh, Pio managed to get off his ultimate just the last second there before the burst damage comes up, but Yule Scepter, Impale, now a charge on through. Pio is barely alive with just sliver HP, but they just need a little bit more. The Morphling's going to go for it. A shotgun comes out. They've taken out the Aegis. Now they have to make sure they haven't overcommitted, though. Dendy actually trying to go for a TP away as the revive comes out from Pio. Dendy inside the river, surrounded by heroes. Ghostic charging for, trying to get to him in time, but now he's already dead. They have no Dendy with no Dragon Form either. Pio left with just Ghostic trying to help him out. Will manage to get the kill on FNG. A support, that's it. He's surrounded by so many heroes, kited by so many abilities that he's struggling to stay on top of any of them. Bit by bit, they're going to start bringing Pio down. Ghostic is eventually going to run out of damage, run out of heals, and Pio will fall.
What a performance by Gambit in that team fight, man. I just loved everything they did. In and out, like you called it before. That's what they have to do. Queen of Pain jumps in, kites them away towards the Roshan. At the same time, Morphling is attacking them from the flank. But FNG and what that guy did in this team fight, you can see that he's the captain, and it's so easy to be that captain when you're playing the position 5. He TPs behind them. Cat Sprout Stroll allows Timbersaw to chain on top of him, catches everyone off guard. Then Dandy as well gets sprouted. Just
once again, spike carapace into Impale. Pio is left just watching while his mid lane of Barracks is taken. Gambit swift to move on to the next one. They know they've still got another 7 seconds till the TK. That's enough to be able to find an extra tier 3 in the bottom lane before they get out. And get out cleanly, too. Nobody's going to get caught.
It just looks like, when you look at these two lineups, these two drafts, it doesn't look like Bait is way too stronger. It doesn't look like Gambit is way too stronger, but the way they're executing these teamfights and the item build that they went for on each and one of these heroes. Look, you have 3 Yules on the side of Gambit, you have a 4-staff on FNG, you have E-Blade. Every single item that they went for helps them win these teamfights, if they play it correctly. And so far, they have done exactly that. Even the Nyx Assassin, like, who usually goes for Meteor Hammer, that's the meta right now. Every Nyx Assassin is all about that Meteor Hammer. Went for a Yules.
Yeah, I mean, when you're matched up against a Abaddon, I think that makes a particular amount of sense, right? Another hero that you can't effectively use Meteor Hammer
What
against.
happened to Razor?
Well, he just was sitting in front of this tier 3 push and just died. And while the rest of Bait was smoked up, wrapping around, they're going to be here now, but they've already lost the second lane of Barracks. They need to be able to win this fight, but it's not looking good. With shots, though, soaking up most of their attention. King R, who tried to push forward, immediately gets shut down. Buys back, and now, nice 2-man Sprout just to be able to control up these heroes. Bait back up to their high ground. Gambit, they don't need to pursue. By all means, back up. You've got 2 lanes of Barracks ahead, 20,000 net worth lead. Take your time, buy your next round of items, and then go for that final push.
There's a tier 2 on top lane. Dream is about to finish his Skadi. FNG has 2.6k gold. There's like you said, there's a lot of gold that they can spend. No need to run. They had no objectives to take besides going for Throne there, right?
Yeah.
And you saw that Andy used his ulti already, so it's unnecessary to push any further.
There's that Orchid. from the Quap alongside the Scotty that you mentioned.
And you can see that they just bought out. They're not.
Yeah.
They don't care about saving for those buybacks because they don't need them. They understand in what controlling position they are right now. It can be scary though if they get caught off guard.
Yeah, I think it's some sort of like 1 for 4 or 5 wipe that happens, and then, you know, Dendy's able to push down mid, take the tier 2, go high ground. There could be some serious damage, but the likelihood of them losing a fight that badly, I think is very, very low, just because of such a large net worth lead. Dendy has yet to pick up a new item. I think this has been like the last 7-8 minutes that he's just been sitting on trying to build up an AC while still holding enough for buyback.
They gave him the bad race.
Okay, they're going to be able to find the Nyx Assassin here. This hero has been a pain in the ass for bait. So them being able to find the Nyx Assassin first, great pickup. Theo gets a little bit low, but Eu-VODs shield quickly takes off that ethereal farm, allowing to beat into the Timber Saw. Silence up onto the Abaddon, but King R does manage to stun up that Queen of Pain, but it's Pio who's focusing down Dream right now, who gets a little bit low. With the help of that Spirit Vessel, they might be able to bring him down. He's already up on so much strength, though. 3,000 HP is what he's sitting on, so instead they're going to turn onto shots, though. Once again, though, they're just going to kite around Pio, whether it's these Impales, whether it's the Ethereal Blades, everything they can to be able to stop the damage of the Troll and just poke at some of these other heroes. Unfortunately, FNG has been caught and will be brought low, but the rest of Gambit, the cores, they all managed to get out.
That's a pretty decent fight for bait, and it's all off of that Nyx skill. If you pick off the Nyx, if you kill him off first, suddenly there's not nearly as much control for Gambit. It's all about that Carapace Impale, right? That combination helps out Gambit so much in these team fights, and if they manage to do this a couple of more times, they can take a team fight. You could see Morphling. The thing is, he's running away, and while his illusions are killing off position 5 Razor and finishing him off, he's also forced to strength morph completely. And after that's completed, he doesn't really accomplish much in these teamfights, and he needs to run. So, bait, they have the strength, but they need to take down this guy.
Well, they have brought the net worth back a little bit for themselves, but still stuck on their side of the map. That's one of the issues that they've been having all game, right?
The BKB for Pio might help them a lot.
Yeah. There have been, again, the Satanic has certainly done wonders, whether it's just for his overall HP pool, allowing him to be able to survive through the burst, healing up off the lifesteal, and even just decreasing the duration of these stuns, but there's still so many of them.
Nah, you can't play this game without Satanic. Like this particular match on Troll, it's impossible without Satanic. If you noticed, every single team fights last like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's all in and out, in and out. Like they go take that Troll down to 50%, he pops his ulti, or they take him down to 20, he pops Satanic, all these little things. So it's definitely a really good pickup. But that BKB has been purchased. No buyback for him as well.
Yep.
So
I can dig it. I mean, at this point, when you're this much in the hole, a buyback is just going to put you even deeper. So you might as well just commit to winning the first part of the fight with that BKB. There's still going to be a bit of a concern that there's things like Sprout and the Ethereal Blade being able to save allies. That's also something that has kind of come in clutch at times. The Impale, stolen by King R, is going to be able to find an opening here, leading off a stun onto the Morphling, keeping a chain stun with the Dragonite as well, taking so much damage.
They got it!
It popped! That's a monster kill streak that's down, and now Bait. They push forward, trying to catch some extra heroes. Shotchlo was able to get into the high ground of the triangle, chaining himself away, so doesn't look like anybody else is going to die for this.
And right now, Roshan has respawned.
Oh,
so instantly into the pit. Sadly for Bait, Morphling just got his buyback, so this should not be a free Roshan at least.
I mean, still, even if he buys back, they could try and take a fight around the Roshan pit, and this could be their way back into the game. Gambit have already initiated. They buy back onto the Morphling, but it's going to take some time to get here. Meanwhile, King R, he actually stole Spike Carapace. See if he turns it around on FN. He does. He stuns up both the Nyx Assassin and the Queen of Pain, stalling up their damage. They're going to be able to focus onto this Timber Saw now. Pio going at it. The Yules stalls him up a little bit, so Shacho is going to be able to get away, but they've got a bigger target. Dream, he jumps away. With this Morph form, he's going to be okay. FN, similarly, blinking to the other side. In and out, in and out. That's what Gambit are playing right now, and they're going to just poke at the supports that are out of position, such as LeBron. Sprout controlling up. Orchid goes out. The Euphonic Shield helping him out. Yule Scepter is down. He doesn't have BKB quite up. The life still trying to keep him alive. He gets off his ultimate, but he finally does fall. Then he's dead for 2 minutes, and Bait, they're just out of steam now. With their carry gone, there's nothing left left to stop Gambit from just marching through that high ground at the top lane.
This should close the game right here. This is the last set of Raxes remaining for Bait. Razor did buy back, but it's still that position 5 Razor. The way they fought that last fight, you could see how much that Carapace does when that Rubik stole it. He just...
Unless they plan on diving Fountain, which Dream just did, I don't see how this two-man defense could possibly hold. And sure enough, Gambit, they're done with clowning around.
That's it. They call GG and Gambit.
Takes the lead.
It never really looked like the game is out of their control, right?
No.
Out of their hands, but Bait did put up quite a